Yes, then we finished charging here, very close to Andermatt. Took a bio break and a quick sandwich, and now we're head off to north of Zurich. And as you can see, the chargers are packed. I guess it's a sign of the times. There were a lot of empty chargers going through Germany too. But as we got closer to the French Riviera, they started to fill up mainly with non-French cars. So tourists, and I guess we're in mid-May, mid to late May, and there are not that many tourists here yet. So you don't have to line up and wait for an available charger. You just plug, charge, and go. More and more chargers are able to handle plug and charge, like Tesla done since day one, where you just plug in your car and you don't have to present any tokens, cards, credit cards, or anything. It's automatically charged. So that is very convenient. It's far between places where you can clean your car. Tunnels, that is something you do see a lot of. I've lost count of the number of tunnels I've passed since I left Nice and the French Riviera yesterday. But it is, coming from Norway, you know how convenient it is for shortening the travel time, but I usually try to avoid them, and I'll have to put together a video of routes in Norway where you, to a certain extent, can avoid them if you're aiming for driving roads that are also scenic. Tunnels have, by nature, not that many curves, and they are not very scenic. So how has the car performed? Flawlessly. One dislike is the fact that the range should have been twice of what it is. With the speeds you have on both Autoroute and the Autobahn, you are somewhere between 200 and 300 kilometers of range, depending upon the speed. The one when it comes to the range is the fact that when you're in Germany, as I arrived in Cuxhaven, just north of Bremen, at 9:30 in the morning on a Friday morning, I entered more or less empty autobahns, almost down to Cologne or Köln, and was able to go VMAX for a long time, and the battery power consumption isn't as high as I expected, and that is of course due to the regeneration of electricity when you are braking. And on the German Autobahn there are plenty of cars that don't hesitate to move 2 lanes over to the left and in like 150 kilometers an hour, and if you are approaching them as I was in about 270, you really need to brake. And I could tell that you got one of those reductions of speed gave me, well, all of them gave me several kilometers of range. I think if you go from 200 to a full stop, you get 4+ kilometers of range. So that is of course, my theory at least, is that is the main contributor to the fact that the power consumption at 200+ kilometers an hour wasn't as bad as I expected. I had hoped for more range, doing 135 kilometers an hour, which is about 130 real life kilometers in places that are heavily policed, as in France. Even in range mode, when the car is hugging the ground, it didn't provide the range I had hoped for. Just about 325 kilometers or so. And since I had a long stretch from the northeast of France all the way down to Nice airport, it became not a hassle, but I had 2 charging stops that I would have avoided had I driven the 911. So it's good to get out, it's good to stretch your legs, but the car should have had twice the range if you're coming from a 911. Which brings me to another point with this car. This is a Taycan Turbo, and it is both a sporty car and a comfortable car. And it comes with double glazing, which also provides you with an acoustic layer on the windshield and on the rear window, as well as on the glass roof. So it is very quiet at 130 kilometers an hour. And when you put air suspension in normal, it just floats, which is very comfortable, going from like I did from Bremen down to Nice airport in 2 days. So then the question for me was that would I have preferred a 911 with a couple of less fuel stops, or would I have preferred the comfort? And I must say that I do prefer the comfort. As we drove around Provence for about a week, I had the opportunity to go solo up Mount Ventoux from the Salt town side, which was great. And when you flip this car into Sport or Sport Plus, you also change the calibration for the 4-wheel steering, which is a must on such a heavy car. And that turns the car into something not too far off the 911. And the 911 I'm referring to is, of course, the 991.1 Carrera 4. A very, very enjoyable driving experience, but this was a lot of fun because you're just shooting out of the apex going up the mountain. And the funny part was that when I departed Salt after letting the girls off to do some sightseeing there while I went driving, I had about 60%, no, I had 60% state of charge. And when I returned after doing the fastest driving in my life on curvy roads, I had 60%. So that shouldn't be possible. And I kind of cringed as an engineer to say that I arrived with the same state of charge as I left with, because that's simply not possible. But the car said so. So there was a lot of regeneration of power when you're doing enthusiastic driving, which is a great asset with this car if you drive it like a Porsche. We also had a Tesla Model X 100D 2017 model that we sold in 2021. We also took that all the way up to the Arctic Circle and all the way down to Austria, Österreich. And that car could do up to 60 or 70 kilowatts when braking. This car is about 270 kilowatts. So you do get a lot more when you're doing heavy braking during enthusiastic driving or fast driving on the Autobahn. So that is very, very convenient. But it is, if it only had twice the range, this would have been a very, very perfect Grand Tourer, because when you put it in normal and cruise along, it is so comfortable, and I find it to be more silent, less noise inside the cabin than the Panamera. Somehow you hear more noise from the wheels, the rubber, road noise inside the Panamera than in this car. Don't know why, but I'm so happy that this car has this normal setting. And it's quite funny because both the Panamera and the Cayenne have a comfort setting. If you go to a 911, it doesn't have comfort, it just has normal on the Manatino switch for the driving modes. And the 911 and the Taycan has the same setups there. As for convenience features on this car, the stuff you notice the most is of course the noise insulation, and that also kind of justifies the sound system in this car, which is the Burmester sound system. On the 911 we got the Bose system, but once you switch the engine on, there's so much low frequency noise that it kind of canceling out the Bose sound system. So in the 911 we basically never used the sound system. Then again, for the whole week in Provence with the girls in the car, I didn't turn on the music system once. So it is not a major thing, but when I'm driving like I'm doing now, heading back up to Norway after 3-4 days, it is so relaxing just to be able to lean back and enjoy some music. The usability of the system is okay. I still prefer buttons, but as I'm not a journalist, I don't stand around cars in the sun and listen to journalists, colleagues chatting on about the car and then getting into a warm car and you need to fiddle with air condition. I leave the air condition at 22 degrees year round, so I don't fiddle with it. So that it doesn't have a knob for that doesn't bother me at all. I go up half a degree or down half a degree depending upon what I'm wearing. I would have gone up half a degree had I had a t-shirt on now. Doing that once or twice during a 8-9 hour drive on a screen, that doesn't bother me. Another feature that's been criticized a lot by journalists is the ventilation, that it is motorized. And to me, as an engineer, I love it. It means that whenever I get in the car, all the vents are pointing in the direction I like them to. We've had in one of the other cars we've got, the Audi, suddenly the passenger side window fogs up because someone's been fiddling with it, and of course people may, but when I get in the car I would like all the vents to be as I like them. And when it gets very warm, you have those presets where you have diffused air, as I have now. But if you are wearing something dark, a black shirt, and the sun is hitting you, you can put it on focused. And then the vents are focusing air at you without you having to fiddle around with them to ensure you have the air exactly where you want it. So to me, that is an excellent choice. Something I would like to see they adopt for the 911 as well. Even though adding weight to a 911 by installing motorized vents kind of goes against the purpose of the car. What else? Options on this car. Something I've always been obsessed with. We had on the Cayenne, we had the Porsche Crest on all 4 headrests. On the 911, of course, you only got it on the 2 headrests that you do have, and that is something that if you don't have it, you kind of miss it, especially when you're fiddling with a configurator. And once you get the car, you never notice that. So it is good to have it when you are buying the car, and when you are sitting there enjoying the configurator. So to my surprise was the fact that the Sport Chrono clock in Bordeaux red matching the seat belts is money much better spent, because I see that every time I'm in the car. Coming from Norway, heat is not usually the biggest concern when you're speccing a car. So in Norway you are mainly obsessed with the noise insulation from the double glazing and the acoustic layer on the windshield and on the rear window and on the glass roof. But you also get added sun protection compared to the normal windows, and that means that the UVA and the UVBs are more or less blocked totally from the car interior, which is very nice when the car is parked up for a long period of time outside in the sun.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild.
Good morning and welcome to today's first charging stop at Goldback North. Not sure if I stopped here going south. If I did, I stopped across the Autobahn at the Autobahn Syd. If I did charge the car up here, it should take me all the way home. Plan now is of course to drive through Bremen to Cuxhaven for the temporary dock for the ferry crossing to Kristiansand, Norway, and then 3-4 hours of driving up to Stavanger. But I just realized that I will arrive in Cuxhaven around noon, and I'll need lunch, so I'll probably plug in the car and slow charge it while I have lunch. We've gone from using the cooled ventilated seats today to using the heated seats. It is about 12 degrees, slight drizzle in the air. Traffic is fairly okay on the Autobahn, so off we go, and I'll get back to you when we are in Cuxhaven.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again.
It's tough. Can I have this one back, please?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, reuse it.
Yeah, good.
It's good for the environment.
I mean, how should we do this?
Signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening?
So then here we are, back after just over 2 weeks, 2 weeks and half a day. And status is on the car, we have covered 6,500 kilometers, which is a lot. But then again, we've driven from Norway down to the French Riviera, through France down, and Italy and Switzerland and Germany on the way back. Cars have behaved immaculately. It's been a great pleasure